Attention passionate Dallas, Cowboys. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Dallas, COWBOYSFANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're like me, you know the NFL is always buzzing, but right now, there's a rumor swirling that could shake up the entire NFC West and send shockwaves through the league. We're talking about the possibility of the San Francisco 49ers trading Nick Bosa to the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I know it sounds almost too good to be true, but the league whispers are getting louder, and the sources close to the NFL, echoing what insiders like Diana Rossini have been hinting at, suggest that there's a real possibility that this blockbuster could happen before the trade deadline or even in the offseason. Let's break this down. The 49ers, sitting at 9-4 and still in the thick of the playoff hunt, are facing some cap constraints, around $16 million, which is tight. With Bosa, one of the league's most disruptive pass rushers, potentially on the trade block, the Niners are looking at a rebuild of sorts. Reports indicate that San Francisco might be willing to part ways with Bosa in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. Why? Well, the team's defense has shown some vulnerabilities, especially after losing key players like Fred Warner to injuries, and their points allowed have risen to about 27 per game after some tough injuries, including Warner's absence. The Niners are clearly trying to manage their cap and roster, and moving Bosa could free up around $25 million in cap space, money that could be better invested in bolstering their offense or improving their depth. But for us, Cowboys fans, this isn't just about a star player moving teams. It's about what Bosa could bring to Dallas. The Cowboys' front seven has already been solid this season, but they've struggled to generate consistent pressure, something we all know is crucial in today's NFL. Their sack numbers, at around 28 sacks so far, are decent but not enough to make opposing quarterbacks uncomfortable enough to make mistakes. Adding Bosa, who's been a terror since entering the league as a first-round pick in 2019, would be a game-changer. This guy has a career total of 66. 5 sacks, with 17 sacks in just 2025 so far, despite missing some games with injuries, including a torn ACL in 2020. Bosa is a pure pass-rushing predator, capable of collapsing pockets single-handedly, creating turnovers, and elevating the entire defense's performance. From a tactical standpoint, Bosa's presence on the line would elevate Dallas's defense significantly. Think about how much pressure we could generate. An 18% increase in pressure rate is not just numbers. It's about forcing quarterbacks into hurried throws, bad decisions, and turnovers. That's exactly what we need to make a deep playoff run, especially considering our upcoming matchups. The Cowboys, sitting at 6-5-1, have already shown flashes of their potential, but the lack of sustained pass rush has been a limiting factor. Bosa's addition could push us into elite territory, helping us reduce the points allowed from 29, 3 to closer to 24 per game, and turning those third-and-long stops into automatic wins. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. The trade, if it happens, would send shockwaves through the NFC. For Dallas, acquiring Bosa wouldn't just be about one player. It would be about signaling to the league that the Cowboys are all in, that they're serious contenders and aren't afraid to make bold moves. It's a move reminiscent of other franchise-defining trades. Think of the impact of adding a dominant pass rusher like Miller to the Broncos or Crosby to the Raiders in past seasons. It's about elevating the entire team, especially in the trenches, which is often the difference between a team that makes the playoffs and one that goes all the way. Now, some skeptics might point out that the Niners are still a strong team, with odds of plus 2,500 to win the Super Bowl, but their injury situation and cap dilemmas could make them more willing to listen. If Dallas can offer a compelling package, perhaps a second-round pick and a couple of other assets, they could land a game-changing player who might be the X-factor in our playoff push. Bosa's presence would also serve as a mental boost for our defense, instilling confidence that we can pressure any quarterback, even in clutch moments. Looking at the season, the Cowboys have shown they can compete at a high level, but consistency and finishing games have been issues. The addition of a player like Bosa could turn that around. Imagine him lining up alongside Micah Parsons, creating a nightmare for offensive lines and forcing offenses to adjust their blocking schemes. It's the kind of duo that can dominate games, set the tone early, and make life miserable for opponents. Bosa's ability to generate sacks and hurry quarterbacks would complement our existing pass rush, making it almost impossible for offensive lines to double-team both players effectively. In the big picture, this potential trade could be the move that cements Dallas as a true NFC powerhouse. We've seen how a dominant pass rush can elevate a team's entire defense and ultimately their chances at a Super Bowl. The Rams in 2021, the Broncos with Miller in 2015, even the Steelers with Watt. Those teams built their identities around relentless pass rushers who could take over games. The Cowboys, with their talented secondary and solid linebacker core, just need that extra push up front to become a nightmare for every offense we face. Of course, this isn't just about adding talent. It's about making a statement. If Jerry Jones and the front office pull this off, it signals that the Cowboys are not content with just making the playoffs. They want to win it all. It's bold, it's ambitious, and it's exactly the kind of move that could define our season. And let's be honest, no Cowboys fan wants to see our window to chase another Super Bowl close, especially when we have the talent and the coaching to make it happen. Bringing in a player like Bosa would be the ultimate boost, turning a good defense into a great one and pushing us over the top. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the risks. Yes, trading away draft picks is always a gamble, especially for a player who might miss some games due to injuries, as Bosa has in the past. But the upside is huge. We're talking about acquiring a top-tier pass rusher who's still in his prime with several years of elite play ahead. The Cowboys have shown they're not afraid to make bold moves. Remember when they traded for Amari Cooper or signed players like Trevon Diggs? This could be another chapter in that story, a move that defines the franchise's future. Looking ahead, the NFC playoff picture is shaping up to be a battle of the trenches. The Eagles are formidable, no doubt, but adding Bosa to the mix could give us the edge we need. It's about domination in the pass rush, controlling the line of scrimmage, and dictating the tempo of games. If Dallas can pull off this trade, I truly believe we'll be looking at a team capable of making a deep run, perhaps even hoisting the Lombardi Trophy again. Of course, all of this hinges on how the front office handles negotiations, the trade market, and cap management. But if there's one thing Cowboys fans know, it's that Jerry Jones loves a big splash, especially when it can put the team over the top. And with the season heating up, every game becomes even more critical. The possibility of adding Bosa isn't just a rumor. It's a potential game changer that could define the rest of this season and beyond. So, as we keep an eye on the latest reports and rumors, remember that the Cowboys are always in the mix, always fighting for the best talent, and always aiming for that Super Bowl. We've got the coaching staff, the players, and now, possibly, the front office willing to make the bold moves necessary. This season could be the one where everything clicks, and having a player like Bosa in our arsenal could be just what we need to turn the corner. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Dallas Cowboys. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news.